police officers are missing. Seems pretty obvious that Harley Quinn is involved.
The goons ambushed my guys and dragged them towards the steel mill. I'll handle it. You sure? Could be a trap. You're safe.
I don't think so, Bad Brain.
So, Jason, I don't have any problem with Harley Quinn, but I'm wondering how many people really find her threatening. I mean, she's essentially the Joker's, his dysfunctional girlfriend who he abuses, both mentally and physically. So I'm not entirely sure where the idea of her as her own supervillain came in, but I don't know. Maybe I'm talking about my ass. What do you think?
That's a really good point. I mean, you take the guy who defined Evil Clown, the original Evil Clown, and then you make us fight his secretary.
I was thinking more like his roadie.
His roadie. Yes.
So we're talking about the DLC, Harley Quinn's Revenge for Batman Arkham City, and I don't know, man. I'm having a real hard time with this one because part of me is it's $10. Another part of me is there really isn't a whole lot here. And another part of me is it was only $10. But then that original part is I don't know. Well, what did you?
But it's Harley Quinn,
yeah.
And then the other $10. This part is but it's Batman.
I mean, I don't know. What did you think about it?
Okay. So it extends the story. It's a little coda to Arkham City, taking place a couple of weeks after the events in Arkham City. So it's going to be filled with Arkham City spoilers. If you haven't gotten around to playing that yet, it came out 9 months ago or something like that.
Yeah,
Arkham City did.
It's not that bad as far as spoilers go, though. I mean, I guess. Oh no, wait. I guess there's the one big one. Never mind.
You mean aside from the whole damn thing?
Yeah. Sorry.
The one. Oh, it's not that bad as spoilers, except for the one big thing that entirely gives away the ending. So yeah, we'll try to dance around that, but everybody probably knows what it is by now. But yeah, it's okay. It's if your boss, your crazy, psychotic, evil, maniacal boyfriend wasn't able to stop me, why do you think you can? The whole game is fighting Joker Jr.
The thing I want to know, I would like them to include, maybe behind the scenes, a little unlockable at the very end, is I want to see Harley Quinn pitch this idea to the Joker goons. Because I have a feeling that 60 or 70% of them may have just walked out, and that's why the game only takes place in a teeny tiny little corner of Arkham City.
Yeah,
everybody else is no, fuck it, dude. I'm gonna go work for the Penguin, man.
It's like with the Dukes of Hazzard. Whenever suddenly you tune in and it's Vance and Coy, and you're oh, Bo and Luke aren't around anymore. It's their cousins driving the car. Yeah, I'm done. I'm gonna go over to the Iceberg Lounge, see if Penguin's got any openings. I'll see you. Yeah. Peace. Yeah, it's weird that it's like you mentioned. It's a very small game.
Yeah,
geographically, you don't really. I mean, you run around a little bit at first, but for the majority of it, you're in this another abandoned warehouse, which really looks like any other abandoned building from Arkham City.
I actually went back and started playing Arkham City again, and they reused a lot of the assets from that place. It basically takes place in the little Joker area. And there are a few new locations, but I don't know.
Not really.
No.
Yeah. New, let's put that in little quotey fingers. Yeah. New. There are places you haven't been, but you kind of have. I realize that this game had a lot to live up to. I mean, a lot of people say it's one of the greatest games ever made. A lot of people justifiably say it's the greatest Batman game ever made. Yeah. And up until now, this is the first single-player experience, which is really what everyone wanted. I mean, the challenge maps were kind of neat and everything, but what we really wanted was more of the story. And you get to play as Robin a little bit.
Yeah. Best part of the game, in my opinion.
By far. I would play an entire Robin game.
In fact, I was a little bit... I tell you, this is one of those things where you decide whether or not, what you think about this opinion. But, I was a little pissed off when that DLC ended and they didn't just give me Robin to go roll around my Arkham City and do stuff with, like they do for Catwoman when you finish the game.
Yeah, that was really ridiculous. I thought at least you could be Robin to run around and go through all the stuff that you've already played.
Right.
But no, it's just these like 2 or 3 little segments in Harley Quinn's Revenge when you're trying to rescue Batman. And it's neat because I don't know. It's a hand job without the happy ending. It's like, look how awesome Robin is. Look how awesome Robin is. But you're not going to get to run around Arkham City or Gotham City with him because we didn't know why.
Yeah.
We're just going to screw around and let you get really used to all of his moves and his gadgets, which are different from Batman's or variations on Batman's. And then it's over. And it is pretty short. You can play it in a single sitting.
Yeah, it's about I don't know. I clocked in at about 90 minutes, maybe a little bit less, depending on if you know what you're doing. But it's crazy too because not only do you only get to play Robin for a little bit, but then I mean it's about half Robin and about half Batman. So I mean there was a place at the end where Batman and Robin, they meet there and. Batman says, go, Robin, go do this thing. I'm going to go do this thing. And then, the camera pans back around and you're controlling Batman. I was just like, no. I want to go with Robin.
I know.
I played like 20 hours of Batman. I want more Robin.
Yeah, and throughout it all, up until the very end, Batman is still a dick to Robin.
He is such an asshole to Robin. Like, there's several points. Like, at the very end of this DLC, I'm not going to ruin anything, but at the very end of this DLC, it's like, Robin shows up and Batman is such a dick to him. It's like it's like if Robin showed up and Batman had said earlier, "Get me a burger," and then Robin had come had jumped out of a fireball and given Batman a burger. He'd be like, "Did you make sure it's got onions?" Like, "Yes, Batman, it's got onions." "Did you make sure it has mayo too?" It's like, "Yes, Batman, it has mayo." And it just goes. It turns around and starts eating the burger. It was like, God damn it, Batman.
Yeah, or tosses the burger on the ground and digs it into his heel, not even looking at Robin. I mean, it's just, he's so, I don't know. That's a problem I have with the writing. I mean, I know Batman is aloof and dismissive and everything, but in this, he's just an asshole.
Yeah, and not only that, but like... There's some circumstances in the main game that in the context of this DLC, it would make sense if Batman was a little bit distant maybe, but we played Arkham City. Robin shows up one time in Batman Arkham City, and Batman is just a straight-up dismissive jerk-off to him. He's just like, no, you go do something else. I got this whole city. No, this is mine. You go, Robin. I called Arkham City. You go back to Arkham Asylum and sweep up or something.
Yeah, it's like, why did you even make me wear these tights and train me my whole life? Like, just so you could have a whipping boy? It's like, you've got Alfred for that.
Yeah. So let's see. I don't really know how much else there really is to talk about this without getting into spoiler territory.
It doesn't introduce anything new, really, aside from Robin's gadgets, which are all, for the most part, there are a couple of differences, like Robin's bullet shield and stuff like that, but it doesn't introduce any new, like, Batman gadgets or anything. There are no new characters, not that I found, and no new secrets or anything like that, like hints at the next game or anything. And, of course, that might be there. Maybe it was just well hidden. But this really just felt like kind of an afterthought. And it didn't feel like, and I'll give it credit, it didn't feel like that this was content that was already there and that they were just waiting to give it to you.
Yeah.
This definitely felt like something that they developed after the success of Arkham City and then provided it. But there's not much to it. Harley Quinn wasn't a very credible threat, especially not after everything in Arkham City. And it was just very small and short, and it had a lot to live up to, but still, it didn't even come close. It was really disappointing.
Yeah, I agree. I can, especially from the trailer for the Game of the Year edition they had put out, I had kind of expected this to go further than it did. Like, when it ended, I was like, I kept waiting for that to be like, oh, but wait, here's the last level. Because what was there was a little bit, I mean, it was so short. I mean, I think that there's only one sequence in in this whole thing with Robin, where you get to do stalking, where you get to take out a room full of guys. There's only one time you get to do that. I don't think you get to do it at all with Batman. Which, I mean, honestly, that's one of my favorite parts of that game is freaking out a bunch of dudes and having them get more and more freaked out.
And you don't even have all your moves.
Yeah, definitely. Also, if I'm not mistaken, they have also released. In fact, I know they've released for the challenge maps in this game. They've released Nightwing and Red Robin. So it also seems like they've got they kind of missed an opportunity to bring in some more of the Bat family that they already had. Because those characters already had their moves and everything all fleshed out. So it seemed like, if you're going to put out this DLC, that maybe we could have focused a little bit less on Batman, a little bit more on some other people.
Yeah, this game really just reminded me of what I want to see in the next one, and that's a bigger area to play in, and I want to see more of the Bat family. I would be perfectly happy if the next game was Batman and Robin, because I think the game went a long way to proving to everyone that Robin's not just some annoying little crap stain.
Yeah.
Because everyone rolls their eyes when the possibility of seeing Robin in the movie comes up, or even seeing Robin in Arkham City, and I'm just like, oh, you people don't know. He's a badass. And here it is, but there's just not enough of it.
Yeah. Well, what do you say? What do you think? What would you say is your final rating?
This is a tough one because it is cheap. It's $10, but I'm going to give it. This is hard. I'm going to give it a bargain bin. I'm going to give it a low bargain bin, actually. Okay. Yeah, because there just isn't enough of it. It's almost insulting how little there is there and how little of it is new.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that you get into kind of a weird thing when you start talking about downloadable content, but I just didn't feel. I think this is currently $10, and I just didn't feel there was $10 worth of stuff here. I mean, there's so much stuff out there right now that you can buy for $10 as far as downloadable games and additional content goes. That this just didn't really live up to what I was looking for from this game.
That's a good way to keep it in perspective. There are. That's a very good point you make. There are so many games out there right now that are $10 that will give you way more fun and entertainment and last longer than this 90 minutes of Batman.
Yeah. Although I have to say, though, that I thought while I was playing through the game, I kept thinking, like, if Harley Quinn really wanted to, like, torture people and keep them the fuck out of wherever she was, they just put her talking on a loop for like 90 minutes and just pipe that out. Arkham City would be completely evacuated. Like, everybody would be backed up to the other side of Arkham City just to get away from her fucking Fran Drescher on speed voice.
Oh, totally. It's, whenever you're like in Target or something like that, and they're like, Target is now closing. Please take your final selections up to the register. Thank you for shopping at Target. They should have her and just clean that place out. To have her sing like show tunes or something.
Oh, now that's a Batman villain right there.
Fran Drescher singing show tunes?
Yeah. It's more horrifying than anything else I could think of.
This is for you, Mr. J.